Beyond the Fairway podcast. Doug Smith alongside Will Lowry. Very somber day this morning here. Will, Lee Elder passed, man. He passed today. Like that was the start to my day. And we have Jon Lester coming in here this week's episode, and sorry to put the dampening on it, but you're talking about a guy, Will, 4-time PGA Tour winner, played on a Ryder Cup team 1979, and broke the color barrier at Augusta in 1975. We lost the icon, we lost the legend.
Yeah, I think about, Mr. Elder all the time. Obviously I have one of his iconic, hats behind me, 1975, that, the Curry brand, and Steph Curry kind of did to memorialize what he did at Masters that year. But, just to think that, that he's gone, and I had many conversations with him about life, within the golf space of how to handle this moment. And one thing you can say about, Mr. Elder is that he really cared about growing the game and getting more minorities out there to be in a way better position than he was ever in, And, when you called me this morning and told me the news, I was taken back, and then I started seeing all the tribute to himself on social media, and it was tough, man. Like it was tough. It was tough, and we all know what happens in life, but to think that it happened today, a little unexpected. So obviously, prayers go out to him and the family.
But I am proud that he did get his moment at Augusta National this year as an honorary starter alongside Jack Nicklaus and Gary Player. That mattered. We talk about things that matter, especially here in golf. That mattered. And one thing I think is poignant to say, Will, is people don't understand what he went through in 1975 as the first person of color to play golf in the Masters. Death threats, to deal with unimaginable racism and levels of bigotry we've still yet seen since. I think tough is never... He's always nice and humble, but tough is something that we never say about Lee Elder, and that's a tough dude, man. So shout out, our condolences to the Elder family and his wife Sharon. So praying for your healing and blessings in this time. And but we'll also, and I hate to say it, man, but Bryson got his ass kicked at the match. I watched it. I don't know if you had a chance to catch it, but I took some time to watch it on Black Friday, and Bryson got that ass kicked pretty good, man. Brooks came out like a prize fighter.
I'm a strict sign guy. Strict sign is who I'm affiliated with, and to see Bryson from making an announcement that he's team strict sign to going out there whooping ass on a golf course and whooping up on somebody that kind of they had a little quarrel over this past season. Brooks is Bryson's kryptonite.
Okay, I like that. I'll take that.
I think he's his kryptonite. I think we know Bryson's a great player. We know he can handle any adversity, but I think Brooks just gets on his skin. Like, I was not saying Bryson's a geek, but I was the geek in school, and there was always the basketball player who can hoop better. Just was Rico Suave, and when he come around, I always fade in the back. Just always fade in the back.
Well, it's time to talk to somebody that doesn't fade to the back. We got a 3-time World Series champion, 5-time All-Star, Mr. Jon Lester, coming in here to go beyond the fairway. So without further ado, here he is, Jon Lester. You up next. Beyond the Fairway podcast, man, my homie, my favorite client. That's what I got to say, Will. This is my favorite client. Jon Lester. Jon, I hate to say this, man. I know you've been on a few different teams since I saw you last, so I don't even know where the hell you at, man. But welcome in here. What's happening?
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me. It's just chilling the off season right now, man.
I apologize for Doug energy. Sometimes you can just be skyrocketed. But welcome here, man. We're gonna bring you in slowly, and then we're gonna hit you with that energy.
Hell no. This is me. Jon has had to go through club fitting with me, Will, multiple occasions, because what a lot of people don't know, and so we're gonna start, Jon. You're kind of a club geek, kind of like me, man. How'd you get to this equipment lane where you just keep up with the times?
I think meeting you kind of helped me do that. like I didn't really know much about, equipment a few years ago. And then getting to know Ian Happ with the Cubs, he was big into it. I think that's really kind of sports, kind of the way it's going with analytics on everything. And golf is a big proponent of that. And to sit there and listen to you talk about spin and launch angle and all this stuff was kind of fascinating. And that drew me back to, trying some other things. But, I like the new, kind of the new stuff. Everybody likes new shoes. They all like the way new clubs look. And, you just feel good when you pull that plastic off those clubs and go out there and hit them for the first time.
John, I kind of want to stay in that same vein. When it comes to the equipment space, is that the same as baseball too? Do you have 1,000 baseball bats in your garage? I like this black one, but this brown one feels better. I don't know if I said that right, but yeah, is that in the same space?
Pitchers, pitchers, they try to limit the amount of bats we get. I think we get like 6 at the beginning of the year, and if you're really bad, you go through those, and they'll order you some more. But no, I mean, I've never really been a picky guy when it comes to like my glove. I've had a webbing that I've used, since I got, I think, really into pro ball. The only thing I really tinkered with was the size of the glove. As cameras got better and guys got better at, picking pitches and stuff, the bigger the better the glove. You could hide a lot of stuff in there, movement and ball placement and all that. So other than that, no, man. I mean, I think all the analytical stuff and all that is all the tinkering is your hands and your delivery and your body and all that stuff more so than the equipment.
So, John, let's get back to it. Let's get back to the beginning, because you are a 5-time All-Star. You got 3 rings, if I have that right. You got 3 rings? I think it's 3. Somebody gave me some bad info if it's wrong. But look, how do you balance the damn golf? Because you're like a real golfer, like almost obsessive, right? But you got this job that you kind of got to do to get this bread. So, how do you balance, your infatuation for the game with work?
Well, I mean, being a pitcher really helps that. Only working every 5 days, I've got 4 or 3 down days to play. Really the only time I don't get to play a lot is during the summer when we're at home, just because, when you're at home and your family's there, you can't come off a, 8-day road trip and be like, hey, I'm going to go hit the course. I haven't seen you in a while. So that doesn't go over well. But, and I've been fortunate to be a part of some teams that have a good group of golfers. So you have guys that are like, hey, let's go play here. Hey, let's do this.
Give me a couple names, John. John, let me get a couple names.
Well, like back in the day with Boston, it was Beckett and Wakefield. We got Lackey into golf, which was cool. When I got to the Cubs, like I said, it was Ian Happ. Arrieta played. Jason Hamill, who's a really good stick, played. So I had those guys. Tyler Chatwood. You had a group. You had guys that were interested in it, so they'd get you out there. When I got to St. Louis, now that was a whole nother ball game. Those guys wanted to play golf every day, so you kind of had to.
So do you find it that when you have a group of golfers on your team, the team dynamic gets a little stronger?
It can be, yeah. I know for me, it made getting to St. Louis a little easier, just because I got to go play golf with guys and get to know them, away from the field, which is sometimes easier to get to know guys away than it is at the field. I know for myself, that's a personal thing. Like when I'm at the field, I'm working, from the time I show up to the time I leave, I'm usually doing something to get ready for my next start. So I'm not always the most approachable guy when I'm at the field. But when we're playing golf or hanging out, you don't have that baggage, kind of hanging over you.
Now, John, it's good to know that golf actually kind of helps, things kind of in the locker room, helps the team meld. But what are the similarities between specifically pitching in the game of golf? Because I find every player kind of has a different role. And as a position player, like what is it about pitching and golf that do kind of go together?
Well, I think it's similar in the aspect of, we throw one pitch and, it may go our way, it may not. So in golf, it's the same way. Like you prepare for a shot, and you may hit a good one, and you kind of just move on to the next one and get ready for that one. Or maybe you pull hook one into the water, and now you got to kind of regroup. Give up that 2-run homer or whatever, and you got to kind of regroup and move on to that next pitch. And I think that's kind of the big thing for me is I feel like, anytime you see, in these like celebrity pro-ams, like the good baseball golfers, like you said, are usually pitchers, not only because of the time that we have, but also I feel like we're able to, when something goes wrong, we're able to kind of, okay, that went wrong, move on to the next shot or move on to the next pitch.
Now, John, don't blame me. I'm just the messenger that is trying to have a conversation, and I hate to bring it up, but we're talking about regrouping, and we're talking about, when things go wrong. In 2015, I read that you didn't make an attempt a whole year to pick off the player at first base. You made no attempt to throw to first base, John. I have to know, man. Yeah. Like, how do you? What is equivalent to golf versus that yip? So golf yips, and we have pitcher yips. Give me some type of similarity.
You know what, man?
And if it's a sore subject, we got to talk about it because it looks like you don't want to talk about it.
Oh no, it's fine. I don't mind. I mean, it is what it is. Like I've told people before, if I knew how to fix it, I would fix it. Because trust me, I mean, it's a lonely place out there. And when the whole world knows something and there's really nothing you can do about it, that's even a more lonely feeling. So, like I said, people ask me it all the time, and it is what it is. And I'm completely honest with it and forward with it. And like I said, if it was something that I knew, where it started, how it started, what causes it, how to fix it, more importantly, then I would have done it. We did things.
I saw where you throw the ball into the ground, one hopper to the first base. I think that's equivalent to me, putting from the fairway, because I can't chip to save my life right now. I have the yips when I chip, so you gotta find means to get the ball in the hole, and you gotta find means to get to the first base. So I can dig it.
He does have 3 rings.
That's true, and a no hitter. So yes,
you do other things to get by too. Like I tried to vary my looks, vary my holds, slide step, and try to do stuff to give the catcher an opportunity to throw the guy out. And really, after 2015. If you eliminate that year as far as stolen bases, we did pretty good from that point forward. So I was pretty proud of myself on that, and proud of the guys that I threw to that, gave me the opportunity to kind of put that in my back pocket and not really think about it anymore.
Well, John, you talk about like having that kind of team there to help you out. How'd you even get in the game of golf?
Well, my grandpa was, he's a lefty too, so that helped. He loved golf. My dad and my uncles loved golf. I think really anybody in our generation, we all got into golf when Tiger Woods took the scene. Like that was, he brought a whole new flair, a whole new
Tiger Woods.
What's that?
I said, we've actually had that statement by a lot of our guests that they got into the game in that 97, 98, 99 era.
Yeah, and he made it fun. Nobody watched golf back then. Like if there was nothing on TV, you'd see maybe your dad or somebody watch the Sunday round. You never watched a Thursday or whatever of round of golf on TV. So unless it was the Masters, that was really the only time I ever saw my family watch golf was if the Masters was on. So yeah, man, I think that's when golf became fun. Golf became I think more than just your country club, snobby type thing. It became, hey, let's get our buddies together and go have a good time. And it don't matter where you play or where you tee it up, as long as you're having fun and enjoying a great game that, it's kind of like baseball. There's no time limit. Hopefully there's no time limit. You don't want to get kicked off because you're taking too long. But
yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like you're out there for a leisure walk or just a Sunday afternoon hanging out with your buddies.
Any libations out there, John? Hold on. You got any libations though when you do play, John? I gotta understand some. I know you're a Miller Lite guy.
Yeah, yeah. There's got to be a few of them. You can't not go without a few of them.
Hey, making golf fun, and he said Tiger Woods started his new era. Do you feel like right now there's another level of making golf more fun and more comfortable? Are you pretty happy with some of the traditions, or I guess some of the transitions the golf game is making right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're seeing a really good group of young guys.
Dad alert.
Tell me, say what up.
No, I think you're seeing a good group of young guys. I think the older guys are kind of loosening up. You're kind of seeing Phil, bring kind of that old veteran fun, just wants to hit bombs, kind of, his swag, I guess, to the game. And I think social media is helping that. Like I said, I mean, these guys, all these young guys now are coming up. Were Tiger Woods dudes when they, when he was a kid doing this. So now they're kind of bringing that same thing. Personally, I love the camaraderie of golf now, where guys are like waiting when their buddies are winning tournaments.
Yeah.
I like that stuff.
I want to see the other side. Where's this talk though? You know what I'm saying, John? You're a baseball player. I like that too.
Yeah, I like that. The match stuff. The match they're doing after Thanksgiving now with those guys. I've always had an idea that you do that with certain athletes, and I think you should make it bigger, and that way you get guys more comfortable. When it's just 2-on-2, I feel like unless there's a lot of libations involved, you're not really loose. But if you get a group of, if you do it like Ryder Cup style, where you got all these guys, mic them up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mic them up. Do a 5-second delay just in case something is said that's not supposed to be said or whatever. And
right,
and have fun with it. I think you're going to get more of a crowd, even more so than you would any other time. You get the people that like the Tom Brady's or like whoever you get to do it.
Right.
So you said something about social media, John, and I gotta ask you because it's like it's the only topic in golf right now. So sorry to all the other tours, etc. I posted a video last week, 3 seconds. Did you see the video? What was your take seeing T-Dubs back swinging the club if you did?
Oh man, I think everybody's loving seeing that. To what extent he can do, I think from this point is kind of gravy for, not only him, but for us. Obviously he probably wants to get back to being number one in the world, but as a fan, as not only a fan of him, but the fan of golf, anytime he's around, it just adds that extra component to the tournament or to the event, like a Ryder Cup or whatever. So if he can just get back to being, just being able to get around, do the Ryder Cup stuff.
Just to be healthy.
Yeah, just be healthy, be good, be able to move, like he said before with his back surgeries and stuff, like there's a quality of life that we all kind of strive for, and hopefully he can get to that point.
But is it fair though, John? This is what pisses me off. And yes, we are media, we're also a golf channel, but what I don't appreciate, and I want you to take here too, and as an athlete, John, I want you to weigh in for sure. Isn't it annoying, for the media to put so much on Tiger with one swing video? They're already talking about him playing in the Hero this weekend down in the Bahamas. They're already trying to say he's going to play with Charlie at the father-son. They're trying to get him ready for the Masters. It's like, whoa, he hit a golf ball on 2 feet. Can we just, do you ever feel that? Damn, Jon Lester was out drinking beer last night. It's like, God damn, I can't have a beer? How is that?
Yeah. Well, I think sometimes people put, not only like Tiger, I mean, obviously he's on a huge pedestal, but just athletes in general, where they think you're a robot, or a robot. It's we're all human beings. We all have a heartbeat. We all have thoughts, whether they be positive or negative. And in a situation where Tiger's at, man, let's just celebrate the fact that he can stand on both of his feet without crutches and actually swing a golf club. Let's just celebrate that for a minute.
Absolutely.
And before we move on to the Masters or before we move on to the Hero or whatever, let's just say, hey man, that's a lot of hard work that got you just to that point.
Just there, right? See,
Yeah, like
John, we here, man.
Let's have a congratulations first, and then maybe tomorrow we can talk about you playing in the Masters. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
let's celebrate guys first before you try to put all these eggs in his basket before he's even ready to. Who knows? Maybe he had crutches out there to that practice, to the practice spot, and could stand there and just turn on it. We don't know how he even got to that point. So
absolutely. John, I have a question. So when Doug and I we head to the golf course, I think Doug fears me when I come to the golf course and about to play. He fears me. He may not ever admit it, but I can tell his demeanor, his cadence, his gait changes a bit. Is there, and I'm not saying you fear anybody, Mr. No Hitter, I'm not saying you fear anybody, but is there anybody when they come to the plate that you're like, gosh, he's here today. I got to be on my square. Anybody like that in baseball?
Well, I mean, I think there's always somebody in a lineup where you're kind of, you're looking for him. Hey, when's this guy's spot coming up? But there's always a guy somewhere in a lineup that you probably wouldn't know their. Well, you might know their name, you might not. He might not be a star, but he's just that guy that owns you. Like you can't get that. No matter
Doug,
what you do.
Hey, John, talk to Doug. He understands. Keep on going as you continue. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it could be a nobody. I mean, and it's second and third with 2 outs. You might as well just walk him. And you're like, why is he walking the 8-hole guy? He's only hitting 200 for the season. Well, because if you look, he's hitting 800 off me, so I need to move on to the next guy. So. But I mean, I remember kind of my first oh damn moment in the big leagues. I made my first start at Fenway Park against the Yankees, and Johnny Damon leads off, then Derek Jeter hits, and then then it was Alex, then it was Teixeira, then it was and it was just like, God dang,
man, all them names.
Yeah, I know. He just I mean, it was that was kind of like, oh, I got to be on my game here, and I wasn't, but.
Yeah, Doug. So how do you handle me when I come to the golf course? What do you do? What do you pray? What God do you pray? Do you pray? What do you do?
I just hope you bring your own clubs, because if I recall, the last time you was here, you had to use one of my backup sets. You know what I'm saying? But it's cool. John, there's one thing I always wanted to ask you about. Glad I got you on here. When you left the Cubs, you bought the city of Chicago a beer. How the hell do you pull that off? You just swiped your card at all these places? It's like, hey, just go there. It's on me. It's like, what the hell?
Man, it was a lot of trust. A lot of behind the scenes stuff that I can't take credit for. A couple of my buddies. Well, you met Nick the one day he came in there. So he helped me. He helped me run my charity for the last 8 years, 9 years, however long we did it. And we're always looking for ways to be a part of the community. And him and another good friend of mine that actually used to work at Miller Lite came up with this idea, and it was perfect because of where we were at in the world with the pandemic, and obviously restaurants and bars were struggling with business, and with all the restrictions and the outdoor seating and all that stuff. So we had these 4 bars in Chicago that had this big outdoor seating area.
That's perfect.
Well,
it was great, and I mean, to my disadvantage, to Chicago's advantage, it was like a perfect weekend for drinking. It was good weather, football on all weekend, and they ran the tab up. So it was cool. Like, it was obviously something unique, and I think that was kind of special to me, is just the uniqueness of it.
John, you just mentioned charities, and I'm thinking you're referring to Never Quit charity.
Yeah.
Yeah. How is the Never Quit charity? Where are you guys right now?
Well, we're kind of in a stall point right now. Just, we always have the online stuff that's going on that people can always make donations or still send baseballs or still send stuff like that, which obviously isn't as personable as what we like to do with the in-person stuff, getting kids to games and stuff like that. But, with the future, with events and, everything going forward, hopefully we can, figure some stuff out. Me bouncing around from cities this last year didn't help that situation, but hopefully we can continue to make it grow. I think we're over or close to $1.5 million the total that we raised. So
Very
we've
nice.
done a lot of good work, and hopefully we can continue to keep going and get some more money for this research.
I just don't know which hat to wear, John. I've got Boston, I've got St. Louis,
Chicago.
Washington.
Me either.
Chicago,
Me either. I'm
like-
right there with you.
Look, and you know what? I'm going to ask you a question, and before I really wrap it up, I'm going to wrap it up only how we do here Beyond the Fairway. But what's it like being in free agency?
So I've been in it twice, and obviously 2 different points in my career. One very high demand, and one not demand. So completely different.
2 different
scenarios.
spectrums.
Yeah, the first time was awesome. I mean, you got people wanting you
A la
to talk
carte.
to you to just. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. It was all. I mean, I wouldn't change a day of that whole ordeal, even as stressful as it was. Wouldn't change it. This last time, going in, I knew where I stood. I knew, coming out of not a great year, coming out of a half a season and all that stuff, where I stood. I just didn't think it would be where it was. I thought I would at least get an offer or, something from somebody before mid-January. And, the Nationals kind of just by happenstance came to fruition just on my agent talking to Mike Rizzo about somebody else, and my name came up, and 48 hours later, I'm a Nat. So, a little weird, but
Damn, it's great.
Yeah, it is. And this year's you got a frenzy of signings going on right now, to try to beat this deadline come, was it Tuesday night or Wednesday night, whenever it is. So, it's been crazy. The last couple of years have been crazy with, like I said, the pandemic, and then personally, and now with kind of this lockout looming over everybody's head.
So the first time when you did go into free agency, did you have to look at the courses like in the area to be like, okay, I can go to Chicago. We got Bobolink over here. We got a couple courses we can play. Got Butler National, Chicago Golf Club.
Man, I wish I could rattle off all the Chicago clubs I got to play, but I didn't get to play many of them just because of the travel. I mean, it's like an hour to every one of those courses. But
That's sad.
The
That's a
division
damn
is
shame.
great for golf. Yeah, I
It's a
know.
damn shame,
You're telling
John.
me.
Well, John, we appreciate you coming in here. We got to send you out the only way that we do it, Will. We call it Rap Foursome. John, you're going to go play golf with 4 rappers. You're not going to get this question anywhere else, I promise you. 4 rappers, so you're playing a 5-ball. Who you pull up to the course with?
Ooh. Can they be? Do they have to be alive?
No, dead or alive.
Dead or alive? Good question. I should have said that. I usually do. Didn't do.
I gotta go old school. I gotta go. Gotta go Biggie.
Okay. Storyteller.
Gotta go.
Fair.
I mean, it probably wouldn't be good, but you gotta go Biggie and Tupac right back to back. Right there.
It wouldn't be good.
It's not.
It'd be Vibe Awards all over again.
No, you can't do that. But okay, it's your foursome. I'm not
I'm
gonna.
trying to think. Let's go. I think it would be
Okay,
hilarious with Snoop.
Ooh, okay.
Gotta have Snoop in there, I think, and then I guess P Diddy on the back end.
See, he's in mine. A lot of people wouldn't put him there. He's in my rap foursome.
Man, I just know he's just trying to have drama that day. Gee whiz. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be entertaining.
man,
one way or the other.
9 irons to 9 millimeters. Golly.
Glock 9 irons.
Yeah.
Gee whiz. Okay, I like it. Control chaos. I'm all about it.
Well, John, we appreciate you so much stepping in here, going beyond the fairway, letting the people know that you are an actual golfer. You know what? I'm just saying, if the free agency don't work out, we might be able to help you get some sponsors exemptions into some of these tour events. Maybe send you down to Latin America, Corn Ferry, but we can get you cracking, man.
Perfect.
I
Look forward to it.
got aluminum bat over here too. If you trying to find bats.
Let's go anytime.
Jon Lester, everyone. Doug, that's your boy. Now he's my friend too. He's my friend too. He's like, I'm glad he could relate that, when we go to the golf course, I am your Brooks, I am your Johnny Damon, I scared the heebie-jeebies out of you, right? So I mean, we have something in common, bro. I love that. But one of the things I really kind of I wish that we would have touched on a bit more, Doug, is I would love to know the pitcher point of view when it comes to the analytics, because they're starting to change the game up in baseball, where they're kind of mirroring that of what golf does with analytics and swing path and getting away from the traditional feels of the game. I wish I would have got a little more in-depth answer on that, but it was a great conversation, man. And I'm glad you came by. We can go
play with him later and chop it up. We can go play with him, John. Yeah, it's the off season. Granted, he's in Atlanta, so it's cold, so we can't really just pull up on it.
I hope his off season doesn't extend until
forever
playing season,
because he's free agent. I have a big shout out to Jon Lester. It's funny, we even talked about the match. So during the match, and I didn't say this because I wanted to talk about it right here. Lester texted me and was like, "Hey Dougie, what's up with that new driver that Brooks is playing?" And I was like, "Hey man, it's solid. You should come be fit." That's usually my response. The thing about clubs is every club is good, just not every club's great for an individual. So go get fit. It's my PSA for the day. But Lester called me about the driver, and you know what? He's gonna put the Strixon driver in his bag. So I know you're gonna be pretty excited about that, Will. So but that's what matters, though. John is such a golf geek that he watched the match and was like, I want that Brooks Koepka right there, And that's how we got to talking. I'm glad he made some time. Come in here and go beyond the fairway, Will, but it is that time, and let's go ahead and get to it. It is the Shake of the Week.
Shake of the Week.
Look, I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the way. Look. We talked about it a couple times already. Bryson DeChambeau, you hit the ball far. We get that. But guess what? In the game of golf, there's other things that you have to do to be successful. You got to chip it, wedge it, hit iron close, and you got to roll that rock. You didn't do that in the match on national television. You try to talk a little smack to Brooks, but here's the thing. Brooks takes all smack talk and internalizes it and becomes a superpower. And you went up against a force. Basically, like Will said earlier, you went up against Superman, Bryson, and you got knocked down. Look, you can hit it further than me. You can hit it further than Will, probably combined. But you got that ass kicked by Brooks Koepka, and for that, you were in the Shake of the Week.
Bro, don't be volunteering me like he can hit it for it. Don't keep my name out your mouth when it comes to hitting the ball. Bro, don't do that. Don't do that.
280 down the middle, Will. He got 440.
You don't even know me. You don't even know me like that to be just saying, my distance and my driver. You don't know me like that. My Shake of the Week is probably to myself. I don't know if this has anything to do with golf. Sometimes Shaking the Week is my form of therapy.
Let it out.
How long, Doug, should I keep re-praying over leftover food from Thanksgiving? Like, it's getting to the point to where I think God is getting mad at me. Like, I'm like, God, about the stuffing. I know I'm not saying you didn't make it nervous for my body the first time, but can
you do it again?
Can we do it one more time? Just one more time, because I think we're on the border of we're getting salmonella. I just wonder if it can save me one more time to where I can make it nervous for my body. In Jesus' name, we pray. And I don't know if my prayer is on voicemail. I don't know what it is, but I just want to know. I think I get shaken the week because I'm going on to. We're going on day 4 or 5, man, of leftovers, and I had a lot of food, and I'm keep going. I'm gonna keep going. I might be a week and a half in, and I just need to know how long how low and how long can you go is the question.
How long can you go? I'm a 3-day guy. I'm not eating no more damn turkey after 3 days. Not gonna go no turkey hash. I'm not making no more turkey damn sandwiches. I'm not doing none of that with the little Hawaiian rolls. Not gonna happen.
No, Hawaiian rolls is a dessert too.
It's like a cake.
I was like, man, I sure with some Rice Krispie treats. Oh, Hawaiian rolls. Never mind.
You know what? But my family was so country, Will. My dad would always make the greens, right, for Thanksgiving, but he would freeze half of them for Christmas. So I think that's kind of the rule. Like, if you eating Thanksgiving dinner at Christmas, that's a problem. You got a problem. You might have salmonella. You might have E. coli. Get that checked out. But hey, we appreciate y'all rocking with us as always. Dougie Fresco, Will Lowry. Big thanks to Jon Lester coming in here, going beyond the fairway. Listen, follow, subscribe. Y'all know what to do. Share it. We on social. And you know what? Pay attention to our social media channels this week.
Right.
Man, we appreciate y'all, man. We'll be here next week. Holla at you.